Are you wondering how to control smart buildings with live sensor data visualized inside Matterport or NavVis digital twins? Are you wondering how to use IBM Maximo and SIMLAB SIMON together for proactive asset management and maintenance and streamlined task tracking? Are you wondering how to integrate building automation tools like KNX, NETxAutomation, and SmartThings into one unified platform? Stay tuned.
This episode of WGAN-TV is sponsored by SIMLAB SIMON. Are you optimizing your IoT control and facility management? With SIMLAB SIMON, powered by Matterport, you can centralize data, enhance visualization, and monitor systems in real time. Plus, improve source management, reduce costs, and streamline workflows, all while ensuring safety and compliance. And you can seamlessly integrate and scale across platforms, enabling smarter decision-making and enhanced collaboration. Manage facilities with SIMLAB SIMON. Visit www.sim-on.com.
Hi all, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. You're watching WGAN-TV, a podcast for digital twin creators shaping the future of real estate today. We have an awesome show for you. 10 SIMLAB tech partner integrations for AEC, facilities management, and building management systems. Our subject matter expert is SIMLAB founder and CEO, Marek Koźlak. Marek, thank you for being back on the show.
Hi, Dan. Hi, all. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be with you again.
For today's show, we will assume that our viewers are already a pro with Matterport or NavVis and have watched previous WGAN-TV podcast shows about SIMLAB stages and SIMLAB SIMON at www.wgan.info/SIMLAB on WGAN. Marek, is it okay if I role play with you?
I love those kind of interviews, so yes, of course.
Awesome. So please call me Sam. I am a construction manager at a general contractor in Atlanta. We've been using Matterport for construction progress monitoring, including for a 100,000 square foot, 5-story building. And we're a Procore shop. I read about SIMLAB stages in the We Get Around Network forum and watched some of the WGAN TV podcasts about SIMLAB stages. I feel like our present workflow is just not working for us in terms of how we're doing things, and SIMLAB stages seemed like it was the right solution for us. What are the top 3 ways SIMLAB stages can help us get more out of Matterport with construction progress monitoring?
Okay, Sam, fantastic. You are already within the Matterport ecosystem. That's great. That means that you are aware of digitalization, you know how to do it. Let me help you to be more effective. So first of all, I would like to ask you how you are using your Matterport scans. Are you doing this in periods of time, like each week, each 1 month, or you are capturing a special moments on your facility construction?
Every week we are doing construction monitoring. So we are doing Matterport scans on a weekly basis. We have a very large meeting of all our stakeholders, all the trades.
That's already great, because that means that you have a lot of data. What we are specializing within the SIMLAB family is that we are bringing this data in a context of time. So if you are saying that you are scanning with the Matterport each week, we are able to create for you a timeline of the building and tell the story of your work, of your construction monitoring progress, which means that we can create a timeline which actually shows you week by week what's changed on a split screen effect or any other timeline system, where we are allowing you also to go even beyond Matterport data. We are allowing you to understand the construction site within all of the documents. So using Matterport as kind of the dashboard for all of the asset management within the Procore, as you said, but also for all of the other file formats. So imagine that you have on the construction site general contractor, you have the engineers, you have also regular workers, but you have the investor which would like to know what's happening. So eliminating traveling to the site, which is basically why we are using Matterport on your meetings, weekly meetings, we can right now create a story how that's changing. So step 1, do the scan. Step 2, feed the data. And step 3, present the data. That means is that we are building a visual story how everything is changes. And on the previous shows that we are showing exact how stages works, you can see the beautiful split screen compare images where on the one Matterport scan, you can see how the situation is changed within the time on the next one. This is a great visualization toolkit that actually eliminates the engineering data for all of the stakeholders around your construction site. And what's the most fantastic way is that that data can be later on transferred to all of the facility owners in the next stage of the building life cycle. So that means is that if you want to remove some unneeded weekly scans, you can do it and then pass the most crucial data towards your facility owner and the people that are actually paying the bill for this construction.
Let me ask you a follow-up question, because it seems like this split screen and timeline that you mentioned is really the key. The challenge that we presently have with the way we're doing construction progress monitoring with Matterport, we do the weekly scans, and then we kind of figured out on a very large monitor that we're opening up 2 browsers, and on one side we're putting the week 1 construction or the BIM model, and then on the other side of our screen we're putting week 2 or week 3, trying to understand, is there any clash detection? Are there any issues with, among the electrical, plumbing, various mechanical stages? But we find this really awkward of trying to run 2 browsers within one monitor and then kind of walk through the Matterport. It seemed like it would be a great solution, but it seems really kludgy that the way we're trying to understand a space. Sometimes we run into a problem and we need to go look at that problem point in various stages of construction. Could you just elaborate a little bit more on how you solve this problem for us, how SIMLAB Stages solves this problem for us, particularly with both the split screen and you mentioned a timeline view, if you could just expand on that as well.
Yeah, both the features that you just mentioned are working within the same application, the same project. It's not 2 separate monitors, 2 separate applications that you can need to stack to each other. It works within the same application. And it means is that all of the changes which are happening in, for example, stage 1 and stage 2 of the project, they are visible and they are synchronized. The data between them is also synchronized. So if you are doing a matter tag, in our system it's called a node or punch list or RFI, then this data, if it's not solved in that particular moment of time, it's being automatically transferred to the next scan, next model, next step on the timeline. And this is allowing you to track the open subject, close the subjects in that particular moments within the exact team that is actually assigned to that problem. But additionally, we don't only stack and compare Matterport with the Matterport. We compare Matterport with additional file formats. So if you have a BIM engineers, and then which is the as design data, and then you have a Matterport scan, which is as build data, this is the first time you can actually clash it to each other and basically see if the progress of construction is going in the correct direction. If there is some already mistakes which are found on the as built model, which are looking different in as designed model in your Revit file. And this is where Stages becomes a powerful, because it brings not only Matterport with a next Matterport scan, but Matterport with IFC data from Revit, Matterport with the blueprints, Matterport with the FBX, OBJ data, Matterport with the point cloud. If you have any other scanning system, even much more precise than Matterport, because you need to have a precision and measurement feature for that particular job site, then you can take a point cloud, a very detailed, massive gigabytes of data point cloud, and clash it together with the Matterport to see basically how does it look like, and where are the
if I may, we're doing exactly what you described today, because we do use BIM, and we have point cloud models, and we actually have some blueprints and yet other Revit, for example. So it sounds like the two things that are super helpful for SIMLAB stages for our projects are that within one browser that we can look at these compare either the different file formats, BIM, point cloud, Matterport, and easily go to a point in one place within that 100,000 square foot project as an example, and then have it immediately show that same point in a different time period or in a different file format to do a deeper dive. So that synchronization sounds awesome. And then the second is the timeline feature that you mentioned. It sounds like, just for sake of simplicity, if we're scanning on the 1st of every month, that we literally could go to September 1, October 1, November 1, December 1, January 1, and look at the model at that time period and even do it side by side. Is that so?
Exactly. This is main concept of stages, but also going one step behind that. Now imagine that you can continue the timeline once the construction is complete. So you can monitor what's happening with the building, not maybe week by week, but year by year. What's happening in the next year, the following year, 10 years from now, what we need to do with the renovation, and how the building is aging, how the paint is aging on the walls, how the cracks are happening on the concrete, to monitor those things and make sure that we are keeping an eye on the story of the building within the Matterport timeline or split screen effect.
Awesome. I mentioned that we're a Procore shop, and I did see on the SIMLAB website, simlabinc.com, that SIMLAB Stages has Procore as a tech partner. Can you talk about that integration, since we're already using Matterport, and if we go ahead and use SIMLAB Stages, what happens in terms of Procore? Is this all totally seamless?
If your company is using Procore already, then you can stick within the Matterport environment only. Why? Because we are 100% integrated into the Procore ecosystem. With the API, we are sourcing all of the data of your projects from Procore. So all of the documents, all of the data records which you have under your project in the Procore, we are able to read and transfer this data into the Matterport XYZ location. That means is that you can continue the documentation from Procore into the Matterport timeline, Matterport visualization, but also you can create a new data, new facts, new problems, new documents, new points of interest inside of the Matterport, and then equip it with the Procore documentations and then send it back to the Procore. So it's a two-directional, very deep communication between Matterport and Procore, which allows non-Procore users or non-Procore experts to work with a Procore very detailed data on your construction site.
So just for clarification, Matterport plus SIMLAB Stages plus Procore is a completely seamless integration for us.
Yes.
And the data travels both directions.
Yes. With one account, you have access to all of your Matterport documentation, all of your Procore documentation, and you can work visual instead of using a database as Procore is.
And then just for clarification, Procore SIMLAB Stages is an official partner with Procore?
Yes, we are a partner. We are part of the Procore ecosystem and Procore marketplace. We just released this integration, so you will see a lot about that subject shortly in the social medias and in the forums.
And again, just want to double check about your relationship with Matterport, that SIMLAB is a authorized Matterport partner?
We are a Matterport technology partner. We do not sell Matterport services, not to compete with Matterport. We are giving to all of the Matterport service providers an option to upgrade their experience with those create integrations with additional partners to add and enrich the Matterport data and ecosystem with much more data.
Okay, great. So we're super interested in actually getting started with SIMLAB stages plus Matterport plus Procore. What would be our next step?
Well, this is where we feel that we are special within our offering, because as I mentioned a little bit, now where we're on a construction site and you completed your project, the next step is how to reuse the same data within the building maintenance and operation. So from stages, there is one single button which says export. You can select, of course, what kind of the data, which kind of the stages, what kind of the documentation, which RFIs, which punch list you want to share within the maintenance team. But we are doing the handover from the construction process into the maintenance and operation.
And I get. I'm sure there's an onboarding process, and I'll be fine with your onboarding process. But is the next step for me to go to sim-stages.com and request a callback from a representative of SIMLAB?
You can go to sim-stages.com, and there is the place that you can contact us directly, or just follow one of the links under this interview, and we're gonna be more than happy to get back to you in person.
Okay, great. And I can imagine us doing this on this 100,000 square foot project. It's 5 stories. This would be a good start for us. That said, I'm anticipating we have a project coming on board for about 2 million square feet. And I'm just concerned that trying to do the weekly construction progress monitoring with Matterport, it's just going to be too slow a process, too cumbersome for the capture. It's just too much. Is there another solution that would enable us to easily do 2 million square feet and still work with SIMLAB stages and Procore?
Yes, I would say that there's a couple of options that you had. First of all, you can start scanning with the Matterport if you already have the devices in your company. But if you are very much about the speed of capturing the data, you can use just regular video footage, or we are also partnering with a German technology which is complementary to the Matterport in the size of the facility, with NavVis. I don't remember if that's well known for the US partners and customers, the backpack, which is so popular in Europe. And that means is that with this laser scanning technology, you can capture a full airport in one day with the digital twin model. That's the...
Did I hear you correctly? In one day, we could scan 2 million square feet with a NavVis backpack?
Yeah, basically, yes.
Yeah.
If you can walk that space with your regular walking speed, this is basically what you can scan in the same time and capture the data as digital twin model.
Okay, and that's NavVis.com?
Yes, NavVis.com. The company is from Europe, from Germany. And this is a great example because we have several customers, and we know that couple of the customers we know both is using mostly NavVis for the space, but then they are combining the space with the Matterport for the details. So this is where our stages gets into the picture. That means is that you can have one technology for scanning. It can be a point cloud from another systems like Faro, Leica, Trimble, or it can be a NavVis, that full size airport, and then particular rooms and high detail engineering equipment might be scanned with the Matterport within the one space, one ecosystem, and this is what stages provide. We are trying to be independent from one exact technology stack and provide all of the mix in one environment.
Sounds like you're the Switzerland of hosting platforms.
Yes, actually, I would not call it hosting because it still stays within the Matterport space or NavVis space or any other technology. We are visualizing this in one environment, making life much more easier for everybody, aligned with one particular building with many teams cooperating with different file packages or software packages.
Great. Just one last question. Just want to confirm NavVis is an official tech partner with SIMLAB?
Yeah, we are a tech partner from NavVis. We also have access to the technology through the API. So whatever is on your NavVis account, we are able to place inside of Stages or SIMON software.
Awesome. I look forward to getting started with you. So I'm out of my role play there for Sam. I'm going to jump in, if you don't mind, to another role play on a different topic.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Okay, I'm Taylor. I'm the head of facility management for 5 office buildings, including 2 we recently bought with that have different kinds of IoT sensors devices. We've been using Matterport and MatterTags for our MEP spaces, our mechanical, electrical, and plumbing spaces for asset management. I read about SimLab Simon in the We Get Around Network forum and watched some of the WGAN-TV podcasts about SimLab Simon. We're just not happy with how we're doing facilities management with the Matterport platform. We really thought using these Matter tags would be awesome, but it really has turned out to be a very cumbersome project, and it doesn't really accomplish everything that we've been trying to do. What are some of the ways that SimLab Simon could help me get more out of Matterport for facility management?
Well, that's great to meet you, Taylor, because this is basically where is our sweet spot for the company. We want to help facility owners and facility managers to feel more comfortable with their buildings. So step 1, do the scan. If you have a Matterport, perfect. Beautiful visualization, which shows you exact status of the building. What we are doing, we are taking Matter tags to much higher level of performance, which means is that we create Matter tags on steroids. We call it nodes in our system. Of course, your job is not lost in respect of how much time you spend creating the tags in your existing system, because we are importing everything that you did inside of the Matterport. So, and we are assigning this to the several categories of the equipment, of the assets inside of the building, and we give you much more on top of that. Good example, if you are having an asset management system, like for example, IBM Maximo, which is also...
Our company uses IBM Maximo, but we haven't figured out how to, make Matterport and IBM Maximo work together. Is that SimLab Simon?
That's SimLab Simon.
This episode of WGAN-TV is sponsored by SimLab Simon. Are you optimizing your IoT control and facility management? With SimLab Simon, powered by Matterport, you can centralize data, enhance visualization, and monitor systems in real time. Plus, improve source management, reduce costs, and streamline workflows, all while ensuring safety and compliance. And you can seamlessly integrate and scale across platforms, enabling smarter decision-making and enhanced collaboration. Manage facilities with SimLab Simon. Visit www.sim-on.com.
Of course, you can hire a couple of programmers and do it yourself in the next 1-2 years, but it's the off-the-shelf solution, off-the-shelf feature for SimLab Simon. That means is that whatever assets or whatever records you have in your facility according to your IBM Maximo, we are able to capture this data and visualize it back inside of the Matterport environment. And both ways, then we can, inside of the Matterport environment, which is SIMON for us as the framework of this digital twin model, we can create an IBM asset and then link it directly to your software and to your IBM ecosystem. So that's the things that we can definitely help you and make your life much more easy, because as we know, the IBM Maximo is quite old system, also without any visualization. That means is that Matterport can become your window into your asset library within the IBM Maximo.
Well, that's what we were thinking, was like, we really like IBM Maximo. It lets us track all our assets and do some predictive analytics about equipment that's likely to fail, etc. So we're super on board with IBM Maximo, but we felt like we wanted to be able to kind of share with the non-techs that don't use IBM Maximo a visual metaphor using Matterport in order for people to be able to walk through a Matterport and actually be able to see tags of each of the assets easily. But I guess we thought somehow Matterport would just work somehow with IBM Maximo and it doesn't. So is that really, that's SIMLAB Simon? Is you're the
Yep, that's our bread and butter. That's how you work with Simon. It's just drag and drop feature and functionality. You just need to identify the asset, connect it inside of your Maximo with our special API software. But for you as the regular users, it's just select the target, drop it on the Matterport space, and that's all of the linkage. Drag and drop, no programming, pretty easy features for everybody, which is not technical person as well.
Marek, we're pretty far down the road of manually adding tags within the Matterport spaces. Is there some way that you can help us migrate all our existing tags? I think you mentioned nodes. Can you help us migrate our existing tags into
please.
the solution?
If you have your existing tags already in the Matterport, for us, it's just pretty easy import and export features. You can load it in from the CSV file, for example, or JSON files from your any other systems. But if you have those kind of big questions, just contact us. We can do this for you and make sure that it works correctly. But if you are already having one of those systems like Proc or Maximo, we are able to just go there, read it, and for you just is drag and drop. Because even if you're gonna load this to our system, you need to identify the position in the space. So this is the only job we require from you. If you have like a 5, 100, 1000 tags, please show me where it's in a space. And that's the only job that you need to do it manually, but you are not there yet with the object recognition and understanding the customer buildings yet.
Okay. So again, just for clarification, I just want to double check that SIMLAB is an IBM Maximo Application Suite official partner.
Yes.
I mentioned that we've acquired some other buildings. You know, we've worked so hard on our existing buildings to standardize on certain IoT sensors devices, and all of a sudden we bought some other buildings and they're using different sets. Is this something you can help us with?
Oh, yes. This is also where we are very much specialized. This is one of the first features that we were designing and actually creating inside of SIMON, which is the building automation control and IoT sensors control. That means is that if you are into the subject and you are trying to work with the big automations, you will find out there is number of formats, regardless where you are in the geography of our world. There is a different standards. Most of them are like
maybe tick off some of them, and that'll help.
KNX, Modbus,
go slowly for me.
KNX, Modbus,
we use KNX, we use Modbus. What else?
Okay, so as you know, those two don't talk to each other, and to do it, you need to have a lot of programming, some hardware devices in the middle as the Google Translator, let's call it, to make it work. Yeah, we are able to connect over 50 different file formats and communication protocols for the building automation systems and devices, and make them work together in one ecosystem. Which means if you already have a building which is like a 20, 30 years old with existing Modbus or BACnet protocols driving the HVAC systems or security cameras or any other automation control, then you are able just to buy a cheap sensor for like $100, $200 from any other existing today on the market 30 years later automation providers, producers, and just make them work even if it's a different file format, a different protocol of the communication. So our partners like NETxAutomation from Austria are masters in this kind of the Google Translate communication between different protocols. What we are doing, we are taking their technology under the hood of the Matterport and allowing you to connect all of the systems in a building into one visualization environment of Matterport. This is huge because right now we are under several projects where we are getting to the existing buildings for a big brands which are having a problem where there's always this engine room, where there's always this IT guy sitting or like a manager of the building facility manager sitting in that basement or somewhere in a small room without the doors. And in that case that we are working right now, they have 8 different computers with 8 different monitors. One for HVAC, another for the security control, another for the motion detections, another one for the blind systems or like a light control. And these systems do not talk to each other.
Yeah, it sounds like you're describing our various office buildings, and we've been pulling our hair out. So it sounds like NETxAutomation is a solution for eliminating the Tower of Babel of all these different devices that don't talk to each other. So is it kind of like all the sensor data goes through NETxAutomation in order to then present it within a...
And then that's what we do. We are bringing our visualization toolkit, where we bring the assets already existing from IBM Maximo or the ones that you will put manually, but also we are taking this IoT control and building automation control from existing very expensive and complex systems. They simply don't talk to each other. Since now they are talking to each other, now you can optimize the performance of the building. Now you can work on the economy of the sustainability of the building, where one system can have implications on working on another system. So this is how the digitalization helps to drive your building more eco-friendly, but also more being more aware of what's happening in it. This predictive maintenance you said before, that's also a part of it. Which pump is okay, the pump which we identified as malfunction after 5 years of 10 years of using, where the same pump is used in the same engine room in that building, right? How many of them there is? Where is it? In what ecosystem is working? What's the temperature? What's the moisture of the room which is there? This how digitalization will allow you to be much more eco-friendly and much more aware.
And I thank you. And I mentioned that we have multiple locations, and I'm the head of facilities management, so I'm really trying to monitor all these pressure, temperature, moisture, all these different sensors, and I'm pulling my hair out because they're all different standards. In fact, I made a little list of some of the sensors we're using from KNX, IoTech, Fibro by Nice Group, Schneider Electric, Smart Homes, SmartThings from Samsung. Are these all things that would play nice together?
Yeah, this is what you said. Mostly it's a branch of the producer of the equipment, and they are using a different protocols. Of course, they don't talk to each other. What we are providing, as I said before, this Tower of Babel translate of all of this to make one working ecosystem. So there is at least 20 I can add to that list, which you might have in your building and you don't aware even of existing of them, but we can connect all of the data. We can be single source of truth for all of the documentation in your buildings, making you much more aware and visualize it in a 3D space of digital twin model.
I kind of feel like I'm trying to watch or change channels watching TV in my living room, and in order to change among 10 different channels, I literally have to have 10 different TV sets because the standards for television are all, each channel somehow has their own way to broadcast television. It's really crazy. Thank you.
Want to know how it's being done? The problem is on the construction side. That's why having one software that is serving for the full life cycle of the process, from construction to the maintenance and operation and the handover data, is I hope solving this problem. But how is being done today? If you are building a commercial building, you are scoping out HVAC installation. And this is coming with a software to drive that system and the control panels. Then you are scoping out the lighting to another company which is doing that part of the thing. Then you have like elevators and the shafts which are working with a different systems. And those systems, they have their own individual applications to be driven and the control systems. And there is missing all of those one level above solution. And this is where we're fixing this in existing buildings. And this is where I see it's a huge chance for digitalization companies and capturing services companies, where we can help existing buildings, not only the new ones, being more effective and bringing the data all together in front of your eyes.
So I know you mentioned that this NetxAutomation kind of solves the Tower of Babel. Do I need to place an order with SIMLAB that's different from my order with NetxAutomation?
It's very simple technology combined all together, so you can do it separately. But what we strongly prefer is that we can be like a one-stop shop for your problems, and we can do it under the hood of one project.
That would be my preference, would be just to have
Yes.
one company contract and have, so I could do that with SIMLAB, and you'll sell me the appropriate license that I need for NetxAutomation for our project.
Yeah. You don't even have to know there is a NetxAutomation behind the door, behind the closed doors. But what we want to do, we want to make you feel more comfortable with that building and bring all of the data in your dashboards.
And so just to confirm that SIMLAB is an official partner with KNX, with Fibro, by Nice, Schneider Electric, Smart Home, SmartThings from Samsung. These are all official partners as part of your tech stack.
Yes.
Awesome. I did notice one other tech partner on your website, Homey. I was thinking about maybe I might do a little project in our house. I'm kind of I'd like to kind of be able to play in the house. Can you talk to me a little bit about Homey, just for a moment, about Homey?
Yeah, I feel that you're a little bit like in my shoes, because working with those big commercial buildings, bringing the technology to their doors and to their front lines, it's fine. But what about my house? So we also integrated a couple of technologies which are only for and are preserved as the homeowner IoT systems, like Homey, for example, Fibaro as well. Samsung SmartThings also is working for your home. So if you want to use the same technology that you are using at your work, at your home, you can actually not even calling us. You can go to our website, download the software, get to the software, register yourself, and put your credentials for Homey or Fibaros or SmartThings, and start using this when you have the Matterport scan already done.
Okay, great. If I'd like to talk to a SIMLAB representative about Simon, I would just go to sim-on.com or SIMLAB-Inc.com and just fill out a form and get a call back from someone that's SIMLAB that could help.
Or you can go to our YouTube channel, just googling, searching for our name, and there's a lot of tutorials helping you to do this experience yourself with a little bit of the effort and just in a couple of minutes.
Okay, so your YouTube channel is at SIMLABINC.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I also noticed there were a lot of related videos about SIMLAB Stages, SIMLAB Simon, and the We Get Around Network forum. And then I obviously took some time to look at some of the other WGAN-TV podcast episodes that were doing deep dives on this topic at wgan.info/SIMLAB on WGAN. So I'm going to come out of character here. I'm no longer Taylor. I'm back to being Dan. Take a moment, Marek, and maybe at a big picture level, 30 seconds, a minute, just the big picture of how you would describe SIMLAB stages.
Well, if you want to control your construction process, this is the one toolkit to keep all of the data in one place. Not only for the construction, but this is the priceless data for you if something is broken or you need to do a quick fix 5-10 years later. This is your insurance policy that your construction is being well monitored and you have all of the data in place.
And take 30 seconds or a minute and tell me about SIMLAB Simon, big picture.
Okay. If digitalization and 3D scanning is already existing in your mindset and you are thinking about, capturing your space, you need to have a data that works with your space, live data from your asset management systems, from your building automation systems, or even solving the problems on site. And this is what SIMON helps you with. within the 3D visualization of Matterport images, which are easy and intuitive for all of the stack of the personnel that you are hiring in your building.
And for SIMLAB Simon, is it Matterport and NavVis?
NavVis as well.
And
Yeah,
formats.
we are planning on it because we want to have Simon to work also with the blueprints. So maybe just a picture of the blueprints, but that's under development. So as I said, we want to be kind of the agnostics with the preferred solutions for different purposes. If you want to have a large space, you need to go with the NavVis. If you want to have a quality and the visual experience, Matterport is the case. If you are just a homeowner and you want to do with your blueprint or with your sketch or picture, just use the picture.
Okay, so on the construction progress monitoring, once the construction project is done, can the SIMLAB Stages project then move to SIMLAB Simon for facilities management?
Yes, with one button, you export the data to Simon. There's a simple process that takes a couple of minutes only, and it allows you to select which data you want to transform from the construction towards the facility maintenance operation. Because not everything is needed, but the one that is important, you can just send it like this. And since Stages and Simon is the same ecosystem of the products, one login allows you always to go back to the Stages if you want to have a full timeline of the building and the full story of the construction back to your attention. If not, just select which scan, which data, which assets are important for the maintenance, and then just export it to the Simon so you can use it with much bigger number of the users of the same building. It can be a maintenance team, it can be subcontractors, it can be banks, it can be insurance agents, but also tenants in your facility.
Awesome. We've talked about 5 websites. I'd just like to repeat them. So for our viewers that are interested specifically in construction progress monitoring in the AEC space, is go to sim-stages.com. If you're interested in facilities management, go to sim-on.com. You can always go to the parent website, SIMLAB Inc., SIMLABINC.com. From there, you can also get to Stages and to Simon, and any of those 3 sites, you can complete a form to have a representative of SIMLAB get back to you. In addition, Marek, you mentioned the SIMLAB YouTube channel as a source of a lot of short training videos. The SIMLAB YouTube channel is at SIMLAB Inc. And then we've done a number of WGAN-TV podcast episodes with SIMLAB, both on SIMLAB Stages and SIMLAB Simon, and you can see all those episodes at the short link wgan.info/SIMLAB on WGAN. And certainly we've written a lot about SIMLAB, SIMLAB Stages, SIMLAB Simon in the We Get Around Network Forum, WeGetAroundNetworkForum.com. Marek, thanks again for being back on the show.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
So for Marek in Poland, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. Thanks for watching WGAN-TV live at 5.
This episode of WGAN-TV is sponsored by SIMLAB Simon. Are you optimizing your IoT control and facility management? With SIMLAB Simon, powered by Matterport, you can centralize data, enhance visualization, and monitor systems in real time. Plus, improve source management, reduce costs, and streamline workflows, all while ensuring safety and compliance. And you can seamlessly integrate and scale across platforms, enabling smarter decision-making and enhanced collaboration. Manage facilities with SIMLAB Simon. Visit www.sim-on.com